It began quietly, like the moment a fire catches before the flames show themselves. Just two people sitting somewhere between midnight and honesty, finally letting the truth step into the room. You said something first about the way my presence stands behind even after I've gone. Not in the air exactly, but something deeper, like warmth left in a chair long after someone stands up. And I told you, I know that feeling too, that something about us moves easily. No force, no effort, just the quiet rhythm of two lives falling into step beside each other, like we had been walking the same road long before we noticed. The night grew soft around us. Pillows waiting, lights dimmed, the kind of hour where the world folds inward. You offered to stay awake with me until sleep took one of us hostage. A simple offer, but it carried the weight of closeness, because sometimes love begins in small promises like that. Two people lying in separate beds, pretending distance is smaller than it is. Then the conversation wandered like it knew exactly where to go. Tattoos. You wanted to see them all, every line, every mark carved into skin like chapters in a living book, so I showed you. The stories behind them, the reasons I chose them, the quiet meanings I rarely let anyone touch. You asked which ones I loved most, which ones hurt worst, and when I hesitated, you smiled through the silence like someone who understood that certain answers are not given lightly. You said it felt like trust to even be told that much. Then the questions deepened. Nicknames from childhood, names shouted across barracks and whispered through years of growing up. Where they came from, who gave them life, you gathered the pieces of me like someone studying a map with genuine curiosity, and somewhere in that wandering conversation the idea appeared. Another tattoo, something not yet written on skin, a mark somewhere down the road that might carry the shape of the life we both run toward. Sirens and smoke and sleepless nights, you suggested something tied to work, fire, service, the strange brotherhood of danger, and suddenly we were sketching possibilities for something shared, not as spoken as a promise, just two imaginations leaning toward the same horizon. Later, I asked you a question, the kind that lingers like a held breath. What is something you carry that no one else knows? You paused, long enough for the silence to stretch between us. I teased you gently like someone nudging a locked door, but the answer waited because life has a way of interrupting the most fragile moments. Sirens tearing open the night, and suddenly we were not two voices in the dark. We were boots on pavement, cold air, 2 a.m, with adrenaline humming through our quiet. When I saw you there beneath the pale emergency lights, the world felt strangely still. You stepped closer, close enough that the air between us almost became something else, close enough that the moment nearly tipped forward into something neither of us had named yet. You told me then, not loudly, just honest, that I crossed your mind more often than I probably know, that knowing me has been something good, something rare. I asked what you were thinking. You smiled and told me to go first. So I did. I told you the truth that I had been carrying quietly, that something inside me had been growing, something difficult to label but impossible to ignore, that I look for your name when my phone lights up, the conversations with you feel different than any others, that sometimes in the quiet before sleep I imagine what it would be like if you were there beside me and you listened. Really listened. You said you've walked those thoughts too, maybe further, that what we have means something to you, that my encouragement, my kindness, the way I see you has mattered more than I probably realize. There was a spark between the words, something warmer, something alive, the kind of tension that hums quietly beneath laughter. Two people discovering that attraction can grow out of friendship like fire from a hidden ember. And somewhere in the middle of that night, between duty and confession, between sirens and silence, we stood there, not quite touching, but no longer pretending that the space between us was empty.